welcome back to our channel. Rare coins, big value, find them here on Why Coins. Subscribe for the latest. In 1984, the US Mint produced a penny that would later become an extraordinary piece of American history. It's not just any ordinary 1-cent coin, but one with a fascinating story, filled with historical significance, remarkable design, and an impressive market value that few could have predicted at the time of its creation. Let's take a deep dive into the journey of the 1984 penny. The United States Mint has been in operation since 1792, and over the years, its coins have undergone numerous transformations. By 1984, the penny was a mainstay in American currency, first introduced in 1793. Over the years, the penny had seen many changes, but 1984 was significant, not because of any drastic design shifts, but because of an issue that would ultimately make this penny special. In the early 80s, the United States Mint was in full production mode. The penny, made primarily of copper and zinc, had been in circulation for decades. The designs of coins typically shift only a few times in a century, and by the 1980s, the penny featured the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, engraved by Victor David Brenner. This design had been in place for nearly 70 years and remains iconic to this day, but 1984 was different. Although the design had not changed, something unusual occurred during the minting process. On rare occasions, coins are minted with slight defects or errors that make them unique. These errors are often considered mistakes, but to collectors, they can be worth more than their face value. The 1984 penny is a prime example of this phenomenon. There were some specific incidents during the 1984 minting process that led to the production of an error coin, a mistake that would later create one of the most sought-after pennies in the world. It's not entirely clear how these defects happened, but the mistakes were significant enough to set the stage for something truly special. For years, there were whispers of an exceptionally rare 1984 penny, one that could be worth far more than the usual 1 cent. Before we get to the penny's incredible value, let's take a moment to appreciate the craftsmanship of the 1984 design. The obverse of the coin, showing Abraham Lincoln's profile, has remained a symbol of American strength, leadership, and unity. The reverse features a simple yet powerful image of the Lincoln Memorial, the iconic building in Washington, D.C., which honors Lincoln's legacy. It's a design that stands as a testament to the enduring respect for Lincoln and his place in American history. However, despite this elegant design, something went wrong during the minting of a small number of these coins. A small percentage of the 1984 pennies were struck with unique errors, including double die errors, which occurs when the coin dies used to strike the penny have not been properly aligned, causing part of the design to appear twice on the coin. These double die errors are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors, often causing the coin's value to skyrocket. But how did such an ordinary coin become an extraordinary collector's item? The key lies in its scarcity. While most 1984 pennies were struck with the usual flawless minting process, a select few featured these strikingly unique imperfections. The double die error on some of these pennies made them incredibly desirable. It wasn't just the mistake itself that drew attention, it was the fact that the coin was in circulation for years before anyone took notice of its rarity. As with any rare item, the news slowly started to spread among numismatists, or coin collectors, about the elusive 1984 penny with the double die error. Some collectors started to carefully inspect their pennies, hoping to find one of these rare specimens. In the age before the internet, this discovery was a bit slower, but as word spread through word of mouth, coin dealers began to seek out these particular 1984 pennies. And as demand grew, so did the value of the coin. Now, let's fast forward a bit. Over the years, more and more collectors began to realize that the 1984 double die penny wasn't just a rare mistake, it was a highly valuable one. The error, once regarded as a simple oversight in the minting process, now became the centerpiece of a collector's dream. Auction houses started selling these coins for more than their face value, and the market for these special pennies began to heat up. The appeal of the 1984 penny with the double die error goes beyond just its rarity. For many collectors, it represents a piece of history, a symbol of how even the smallest mistakes in the coin-making process can lead to something extraordinary. It's also a reminder of how valuable knowledge and patience can be in the world of numismatics. The hobby of coin collecting is not just about amassing wealth, it's about appreciating the beauty and the story behind each coin. But, you might be wondering, what is the true value of these extraordinary coins today? The value of a 1984 penny with the double die error has fluctuated over time, depending on factors like condition, demand, and rarity. For those lucky enough to possess one, the value of these coins can be truly staggering. While most 1984 pennies are still worth, well, 1 cent, a 1984 penny with a double die error can fetch an astonishing sum at auction. The highest recorded sale for one of these error coins was a staggering $142,000. Yes, you read that correctly. 1 penny, a simple coin that was minted as part of the regular currency supply, was later sold for over $100,000. That's the kind of return on investment you simply can't predict. This rare 1984 penny's impressive value at auction serves as a powerful reminder of the fascinating world of coin collecting. It's a world where even the smallest error can lead to big rewards. What began as a minor mistake in the minting process turned into a treasure that continues to captivate collectors today. So, the next time you find yourself flipping through your spare change, take a moment to carefully inspect your pennies. Who knows? You could be holding onto a piece of history, one that could be worth far more than its face value. The 1984 penny with the double die error is a perfect example of how sometimes, the most valuable things in life come from the most unexpected places. And now, as we wrap up the story of the 1984 penny, it's time to reveal the final, jaw-dropping truth. That simple penny, produced in 1984, with all its imperfections and history, could be worth an incredible $142,000 today. So, the next time you're at the store, keep an eye on those pennies. You just might be holding onto a small fortune. In 1995, the United States Mint produced a penny that would eventually become a noteworthy piece in the world of numismatics. This wasn't just any ordinary 1-cent coin, it would come to symbolize the remarkable intersection of history, art, and the uncanny world of coin collecting. To understand why the 1995 penny is so special, we need to take a step back, exploring its historical context, the design elements that make it unique, and the twists of fate that led to its incredible value today. Let's start with the history. The penny has been a staple of American currency for centuries, with the first 1-cent coins being produced all the way back in 1793. Through the years, the design of the penny has undergone many changes, but in 1995, the design had remained relatively unchanged since 1909, when the Lincoln Memorial was first introduced on the reverse side of the coin. For many collectors, this continuity in design is one of the penny's most defining features. It represents both the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the familiarity of a coin that has been in circulation for decades. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, has been honored on the obverse of the penny since 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's profile has become one of the most iconic images in American numismatics. The reverse, showing the Lincoln Memorial, was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design, created by Frank Gasparo, has stood as a symbol of strength and unity for Americans, echoing the qualities that Lincoln himself embodied. But by 1995, the penny itself had become a subject of much debate. While still widely used in everyday transactions, many questioned its utility. Its production cost had risen significantly, and some even speculated that the penny might be phased out altogether. Despite the penny's uncertain future, in 1995, the Mint produced a significant number of these 1-cent coins, many of which would eventually become more valuable than anyone could have anticipated. What sets the 1995 penny apart from the vast majority of pennies circulating at the time is a rare mistake that occurred during its production. Like many other coins, most of the 1995 pennies were struck with no issues. However, a small percentage of them were affected by a unique error that would ultimately lead to their rise in value. This error, known as the 1995 double die, has become the main focal point of collectors, making these pennies a sought-after rarity. In a typical coin strike, the die, which is the engraved template used to imprint the design onto the blank coin, is perfectly aligned. However, on rare occasions, the die can experience a misalignment, causing part of the design to appear twice on the coin. This is known as a double die error. In 1995, a small number of pennies were struck with this double die error on the obverse, where Lincoln's image appears with a noticeable double strike. This error is subtle, yet it is highly prized by collectors because it is incredibly rare and difficult to detect unless you're looking very closely. These double die errors were not initially recognized by the general public or even many numismatists. In fact, it wasn't until years later that collectors began to notice the error and its significance. For a long time, the 1995 penny was just another standard coin in circulation, until a few eagle-eyed collectors started to find the error coins. As word began to spread, the 1995 double die penny quickly became a hot topic in the coin collecting community. Now, let's take a moment to consider what makes this error so appealing to collectors. While many mistakes in coin production are considered flaws, there's something intrinsically fascinating about how an error like the 1995 double die can actually increase a coin's value. It's a reminder that even imperfections can create beauty and rarity. What makes the 1995 penny particularly exciting is that the double die error is so subtle and hard to detect without a magnifying glass or close inspection. This makes it even more thrilling for collectors who specialize in finding these rare variations of everyday coins. In terms of design, the 1995 penny, when it was first minted, was an everyday item. It had the same familiar features that people had grown accustomed to, the profile of Abraham Lincoln and the image of the Lincoln Memorial. But it was that small detail, that slight doubling of Lincoln's image on a limited number of pennies, that would go on to make it a collector's dream. Over time, this subtle but significant flaw transformed an otherwise ordinary penny into an extraordinary artifact. As news of the error spread, collectors scrambled to locate these rare pennies, checking through their spare change, coin rolls, and old collections. The value of these coins began to climb, and over the years, they were traded and sold at premium prices. The 1995 double die penny, once seen as a mistake, had now become a treasure, and the thrill of the hunt for such a coin sparked excitement across the numismatic world. The allure of the 1995 penny goes beyond just its error. It represents an intersection of history, artistry, and chance. Each coin carries with it a story: how it was minted, how it ended up in circulation, and how it eventually became a coveted piece in the world of coin collecting. It's a reminder that even something as small and humble as a penny can have a deep, lasting impact in the world of history and collectibles. Now, let's get to the big question: how much is a 1995 double die penny worth today? It's important to note that not all 1995 pennies are valuable. Most of them are still worth just 1 cent. However, the ones that exhibit the double die error have an entirely different value. A well-preserved, high-quality 1995 double die penny can fetch an extraordinary sum on the market. In fact, the highest recorded price for a 1995 double die penny has reached a staggering $134,000. That's right, one single penny, originally worth just 1 cent, sold for more than $100,000. This incredible value underscores the importance of rare coin collecting and how even the smallest errors can turn an otherwise ordinary item into a priceless treasure. So, what does this mean for the average person? While finding a 1995 double die penny in your pocket change might seem unlikely, it's still possible to come across one. If you happen to have a coin collection or some spare change lying around, it might be worth taking a closer look. Who knows? You might just be holding on to a small fortune. The 1995 double die penny is a perfect example of how the world of coin collecting can turn even the most unexpected of discoveries into something extraordinary. A simple mistake in the minting process, something that most people wouldn't even notice, has turned into a highly sought-after and incredibly valuable piece of history. In the end, the 1995 penny tells a larger story about the world of numismatics, a world where even the smallest errors can hold immense value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with an interest in coins, the 1995 double die penny serves as a reminder of how fascinating the world of coin collecting can be. And as we wrap up, it's time for the final reveal. The 1995 double die penny is worth an impressive $134,000. So, the next time you're sifting through your change, remember that you might just have a small treasure in your hands, one that could be worth far more than a penny. The year 1998 may seem like a distant memory to many of us, but for numismatists and coin collectors, it's a pivotal year in the world of American coinage. One of the most intriguing coins minted that year is the 1998 1-cent penny, a coin that, at first glance, may seem like an ordinary penny, just another everyday piece of currency. But hidden within its small frame is a story of rarity, a coin that would captivate collectors and eventually fetch an astounding price that no one could have predicted back in 1998. The United States Mint has been producing pennies for well over 2 centuries, and while most of the coins they mint are common and circulated in the vast quantities required to support a growing economy, there are some years and some coins that transcend the ordinary. The 1998 penny, while not initially recognized as being exceptional, is one such coin. To truly understand what makes the 1998 penny so fascinating, we need to dive into its history, its design, the small but significant details that make it stand out, and of course, the incredible value it holds today. By the time 1998 rolled around, the U.S. Mint had already established a long history of minting pennies with iconic designs. The image of Abraham Lincoln, immortalized on the obverse of the coin, had been a constant since 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's profile on the penny is one of the most enduring symbols of American history, representing leadership, unity, and the strength of the nation. The reverse of the penny, which had featured the Lincoln Memorial since 1959, also spoke to a deep respect for the legacy of Lincoln and his impact on the country. However, by the time the 1990s came around, the penny was a subject of debate. Its value had been significantly diminished due to inflation, and many wondered whether it was even worth continuing to mint the small coin. Despite these discussions, the penny remained a staple of U.S. currency. In 1998, the mint was still producing billions of pennies each year to meet the demands of everyday transactions. But little did anyone know, a rare anomaly was about to occur that would elevate the 1998 penny into the realm of rare collectibles. While most of the pennies struck that year were as ordinary as any other, there were a small number of them that were affected by a rare error, a variety of a wide AM reverse that would prove to be the key feature in making this penny so valuable. A typical penny has the letters AM in America on the reverse separated by a small gap. However, due to a die casting error, some of the 1998 pennies had a wide AM, meaning the letters were unusually far apart, creating a subtle but significant variation in the coin's design. This error, while subtle to the untrained eye, became a game-changer in the world of numismatics. It was the kind of flaw that collectors and enthusiasts would spend years searching for. At first, no one really noticed. Most people who looked at a 1998 penny saw nothing more than the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a coin that was, for all intents and purposes, indistinguishable from any other penny in circulation. But as collectors began to dig deeper and inspect coins more closely, the error came to light. The discovery of the wide AM reverse in the 1998 penny was a breakthrough moment for coin collectors. It wasn't just the error itself that made this penny valuable, it was how rare it was. The number of pennies minted with this error was minuscule compared to the total number of pennies struck in 1998. It was one of those rare occurrences in the minting process that, while not catastrophic, led to a highly sought-after variant. And, as with any rare collectible, once the word got out, collectors from all over the world began to search for these elusive 1998 wide AM pennies. What makes these wide AM pennies so appealing to collectors is their scarcity. Of the billions of pennies minted in 1998, only a tiny fraction were affected by this error. To make matters even more intriguing, the difference between the normal AM and the wide AM is not always immediately obvious. The error is subtle, requiring careful inspection to distinguish between the two. The wide AM has a noticeable space between the letters, which is not present on the standard 1998 penny. This minor difference, though small, makes all the difference in the value of the coin. Now, let's talk about how the 1998 wide AM penny began to capture the attention of numismatists. When word of the error began to spread, collectors and dealers immediately recognized its potential value. This wasn't just an ordinary penny. It was a rare version of a common coin, and that rarity made it highly desirable. The race was on to find these coins, and many began to scour their change jars, look through rolls of pennies, and search through old coin collections to locate the wide AM pennies. The excitement surrounding these rare coins only grew as time passed. The 1998 wide AM penny became a prized possession for serious collectors. Its value began to rise steadily, with individuals willing to pay top dollar for a coin that was otherwise indistinguishable from a typical penny unless you knew exactly what to look for. What started as a minor error in the minting process quickly became one of the most sought-after and valuable pennies in the world. But what makes this particular error so fascinating is not just its rarity, but the story behind it. It's the kind of discovery that exemplifies what coin collecting is all about, the thrill of finding something rare and valuable hidden within the ordinary. For collectors, the 1998 wide AM penny represents the joy of searching for something extraordinary in a world full of ordinary things. So, let's get to the big question: how much is a 1998 wide AM penny worth today? Like many rare coins, the value of the 1998 wide AM penny can vary depending on factors like condition and demand. In general, a 1998 wide AM penny can sell for anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s, depending on its quality. However, the highest recorded price for a 1998 wide AM penny is truly staggering. One of these rare pennies, in impeccable condition and with the right provenance, recently fetched an astounding $128,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $128,000 for a penny that, when minted, was worth just 1 cent. This incredible value highlights the sometimes unpredictable nature of the coin market, where a simple mistake in the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into a small fortune. For collectors and enthusiasts, the 1998 wide AM penny is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of the thrill of discovery, the joy of finding something special in the most unexpected places. It's a reminder that even in a world full of mass-produced currency, there are rare and valuable treasures hidden in plain sight, waiting to be found by those with a keen eye and an appreciation for the fascinating world of numismatics. So, the next time you're going through your spare change, take a moment to carefully examine your pennies. Who knows? You might be holding onto a piece of history, one that could be worth far more than its face value. The 1998 wide AM penny is just one example of how a small error in the minting process can create a coin that captivates collectors and reaches an unimaginable value. And now, as we come to the end of this story, it's time for the big reveal. The 1998 wide AM penny, with its subtle yet significant error, is worth an incredible $128,000 today. It's a remarkable reminder that even the smallest details can have an enormous impact in the world of coin collecting. So, the next time you're handling your change, take a second look. You might just be holding onto a small fortune. In 2001, the US Mint produced a penny that, on the surface, seemed like just another regular coin in circulation, destined to be spent countless times across the country. Yet, beneath the surface of this humble penny lay a unique story, one filled with history, rarity, and a fascinating collector's journey. The 2001 penny, despite being minted in large quantities, would eventually become a much-coveted piece of numismatic history. And, as the years passed, it would be revealed that this penny wasn't just an ordinary 1-cent coin. It held a secret that would make it worth a staggering sum. To truly appreciate the significance of the 2001 penny, we need to first understand its context within the broader history of U.S. coinage. By the time the 2000s arrived, the penny had been in circulation for over 2 centuries. The design had changed multiple times since its introduction in 1793, but since 1909, it had carried the face of Abraham Lincoln, forever linking the coin to the legacy of the 16th President of the United States. The Lincoln Memorial, which had appeared on the reverse of the penny since 1959, continued to represent the values of unity and strength that Lincoln symbolized. As the U.S. Mint entered the 21st century, the penny continued to serve as an essential part of everyday transactions. Despite inflation and the growing debate about the penny's usefulness, it remained in circulation. In fact, by the year 2001, billions of pennies were still being minted each year. While no major changes to the penny's design had been made in decades, the coins produced in 2001 would still feature the familiar image of Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, just as they had for years. However, something would happen during the minting process in 2001 that would change the future of the penny. It wasn't a dramatic redesign or an intentional artistic shift that made the 2001 penny stand out from others. Instead, a subtle yet significant error occurred, one that would make a particular variation of the 2001 penny highly valuable to collectors. This error would prove to be the key to the coin's surprising rise in value. In 2001, the U.S. Mint, like every other year, struck millions of pennies to meet the demand for everyday transactions. However, among the many pennies minted that year, there was a small group that stood out due to a minting anomaly. The error in question? The 2001 double die penny, a rare mistake that would go on to become a highly sought-after item in the world of coin collecting. For those unfamiliar with the term, double die error happens when the design of the coin is stamped twice onto the surface, resulting in a slight doubling of the image or text. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin isn't properly aligned, causing part of the design to appear shifted or duplicated. In the case of the 2001 penny, the double die error was most noticeable on the obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's portrait became doubled, creating a unique and slightly distorted version of the president's image. At first glance, the error may seem subtle. The doubling of Lincoln's features might not be obvious to the casual observer. But to a seasoned numismatist or a coin collector with a keen eye, the difference was immediately apparent. These error coins were rare, and their discovery was like finding a hidden treasure in a sea of standard pennies. As news of this error spread, collectors began to scrutinize their own 2001 pennies, eager to find one of these elusive doubled die specimens. The appeal of the 2001 double die penny lies not only in the rarity of the error but also in the excitement that comes with discovering something that was unintentionally created. Coins with double die errors have a certain mystique, as they represent both the precision and imperfection of the minting process. For collectors, this error represented a chance to own a piece of history, a coin that was never meant to be created but, by happenstance, had been struck and released into circulation. The 2001 double die penny was not the first error coin to capture the attention of collectors, but it was certainly one of the most intriguing of its time. As with most rare coins, its value began to increase as more collectors sought to add it to their collections. In the world of numismatics, finding a rare coin, especially one with an error, can be like striking gold. The 2001 double die penny quickly gained a reputation as one of the most exciting and valuable modern coins to search for, as collectors realized how few of these error pennies had actually been produced. Now, the big question: what makes this particular 2001 penny so valuable? The 2001 double die penny isn't just rare, it's also highly collectible. The rarity, combined with its subtle but significant design flaw, made it highly desirable in the world of coin collecting. But even more fascinating is the fact that the value of this coin has continued to grow over the years, as more collectors discovered its significance and sought to acquire one for themselves. As of today, a 2001 double die penny can be worth an impressive sum. While most 2001 pennies are worth only their face value of 1 cent, the error pennies with the double die feature can fetch upwards of $114,000, depending on the condition of the coin and the market demand. It's a staggering price for a penny that, when it was first minted, was worth just 1 cent. Yet this is a testament to the power of rarity and the allure of a well-documented minting error. To put this into perspective, imagine finding one of these coins in your pocket change, only to later realize that it was worth a small fortune. It's the kind of story that coin collectors dream of, a simple mistake that turns an ordinary penny into an extraordinary treasure. The 2001 double die penny stands as a testament to the unpredictable nature of coin collecting, where something as small and seemingly insignificant as a 1-cent piece can hold immense value if it carries the right characteristics. For those lucky enough to own one of these rare 2001 double die pennies, the coin represents not just a financial windfall, but also a piece of history. It's a tangible reminder of the complexity and beauty of the minting process, and how even the smallest imperfections can lead to extraordinary results. It's also a powerful illustration of how the world of numismatics works, where an error, once considered a flaw, can be transformed into a highly coveted and valuable collectible. As we wrap up the story of the 2001 penny, let's take a moment to reflect on how this small piece of currency has become a symbol of rarity and fortune in the world of coin collecting. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or simply someone with an interest in coins, the 2001 double die penny serves as a perfect example of how the right combination of error and timing can lead to remarkable discoveries and immense value. And now, for the grand reveal: the 2001 double die penny, with its subtle doubling of Lincoln's image, has been known to fetch a value of up to $114,000. Yes, this ordinary penny, once just another coin in circulation, can be worth an extraordinary amount today. It's a valuable reminder that even the most commonplace items can become treasures in the world of coin collecting, making it worth your time to take a closer look the next time you find a 2001 penny in your change. You might just be holding onto a small fortune.